welcome back to another episode of Lani's Lore episode of Lani's Lore. I'm Lani. This is my co-host Mike and best friend and now co-worker. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep. I'm excited.
So for being a little fake right now, because this is take 2 of the same damn episode that we just spent an hour and a half on recording, and it didn't fucking record the audio.
Dude, it did it to us again. It's like the third time it's done that to us. And I'm like, that is going to be my 13th reason why.
This is my 13th reason why.
The way that we both had to like crash out, and I was like,
She had to disassociate. I had to
so
go.
hard.
I had to go force myself to go pee because I slammed my bathroom door. I'm like, well, I already made an entrance in here. I might as well just go pee.
He comes out, he's like, "You good?" And I'm like, I'm just disassociating his space. Like,
Bro, literally an hour.
it's like an hour and a half.
And it's so frustrating because this is a good occasion today.
Yeah. Today is my sobriety anniversary.
Yeah. 23 months.
23 months, and then tomorrow will be 700 days.
Yes.
And so I was trying to give him the episode to talk about a story, and then you were literally all like pretty much done.
Yep.
And then he's like, "It wasn't even recording," and I was like, "Are we dead?"
Yeah, I wasn't picking up the goddamn mic.
No, I'm stress eating. Sorry, guys. This is a protein bar.
It's healthy stress eating.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. And this is supposed to be peanut butter candy crunch, and it shows in the picture like the little candies in it. There ain't no candies in this.
Yeah, it looks like fucking pumpkin bread.
Oh my god, I love pumpkin bread.
Oh my god, me too. Like pumpkin chocolate chip bread. Oh yeah.
There's no candies in this. No wonder why they were discounted, because
Well, yeah, because you can see it on the packaging. There's like Reese's Pieces-esque bites in here. But there are none.
they're
This
gonna
is-
advertise it as candy crunch, and there's nothing crunchy. Well, wait. There's one. A piece of chocolate right there. Let me pick it
I
out.
guess it's not.
Wait. That is it. That is the candy piece.
Well, I mean, speaking of false advertisement, how about them David bars? That guy is trying to come back and fight for his life.
Is he really? I didn't
Oh
see that.
yeah, there's follow up on Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I
there's follow up posts. But yeah, the owner of the David bar
What's he
pretty much
saying?
got caught with the additives that he was using. Chemically, I guess it's supposed to lower pretty much everything, which is how he's been getting away with what he's been able to label the nutritional label as. But it's I don't even. Who discovered it that it was a lie? Was it an actual company, or did somebody do like third-party testing? Because you showed me.
I'm pretty sure somebody did third-party testing.
Okay, yeah, because Lani had shown me the pretty much like the whole lawsuit. But yeah, I guess it's actually doubled of what's
The
being
calorie
labeled.
intake.
Yeah, the caloric intake. But yeah, there is actual follow up, and he's responded to pretty much the accusations, but I didn't look at the video or read the reporting on it, but he is trying to like fight for his life on social media.
Fair, because like if that comes out, if that lawsuit has any kind of validity to it, and there is actual backing and science behind that, and it goes to court and he loses, that is his whole entire company he's losing.
Yeah, if you look at the fallout, what happened to Bang, that energy drink, they were labeling it as like creatine, the CQ10s, but it's ultimately shown that there's like microscopic proof of what was being labeled on the Bang, cans. So
But
that's
honestly, I don't feel bad for these companies. I don't, because you should be labeling your shit appropriately. Don't label it as like, I get this. I have this rage and issue with this, and I've crashed out to my mother before, because it's the same thing with keto, where people are like, it's keto, and you read the label and you're like, no, this is fucking not.
right.
Or people can like say like, oh, it's gluten free, and then you read the ingredient list, you're like, I mean, it's gluten like sensitive, but it's not gluten free.
Right.
So like if somebody has celiacs, if they ingest a little bit of gluten, even they can fucking die. So like I really firmly believe, or someone's diabetic and you're like, oh, well, we have like trace amounts of sugar. Okay, but like you should be disclosing all that shit. Like, and then companies want to say, well, it's your job to like read the labels. Yes, well, yeah, the due diligence, but like, it's the same thing that happened to McDonald's with a damn hot coffee.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that
And
whole
that's
thing.
a whole
Yeah.
lawsuit. And he won the lawsuit because yes, McDonald's did not properly label that their coffee was hot. That's how he ran. Like, did we not learn anything from that fucking that incident in that situation? Like, properly label your shit. Like, if you're gonna, and especially because like people who diet and go to the gym, like if you're gonna make a protein bar and it's got like crazy amount of macros at 39 grams. I think the David bar has a 39 grams of protein. And you're not going to properly include the caloric intake on that. You are throwing people out of their maintenance calories and out of their shit. They're like, just some of the memes on it was like, it's giving Mean Girls and like in the in the what is it, Celtic bars or whatever, to gain weight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's not a bad thing because I think bodybuilders would still fucking eat fucking David bars, even at the caloric intake they're at.
Oh yeah, like
Because 39 grams of protein is still pretty good.
because the video that you had sent me with Rich Piana with the
Yeah.
Lenny's and Larry's, horrible macros.
Yeah.
But the guy was a fucking bodybuilder, so he was like, yes, I eat this, but it's my snack. I'm not going off of my macros off of this horrible cookie. I'm eating it because it tastes good and it's my snack.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's still a market for it. I just think how he would have to market it would be different. Because I definitely think that bodybuilders and people who like compete in that whole aspect would still consume them because 39 grams of protein is still really good.
Yeah.
If you can smash 39 grams of protein and then chase it down with like a Fairlife, like, you know what I mean? Like
Something,
you
yeah.
can freaking get like easily like, what is that, like 59, almost 60 grams of protein as a snack. Like that's crazy.
Yep.
So I just think that like people who are, I think people look at protein bars as a cheat. And it's
Right.
not,
It's technically a supplementation.
yeah, but it's not real food. It's not like you should be focusing on whole foods, not necessarily like, oh, I'm just gonna like, and I'm guilty of it. That's how I know. I'm guilty of it, of like being like, it's fine, I'll just have a barbell. But it's like, my defense, my thought process is not like, oh, this is gonna be my fucking food for the day. It's, oh fuck, I forgot to eat. I got busy. So let me just grab something real quick that's high in protein. It's not like I'm over here planning my meals around like, I'm not going to eat breakfast. I'm just going to have a barbell because I'm trying to lose weight. Like, no.
First of all, that is how you started back in October.
No, what I was doing was not including my fucking workouts into my calories.
Oh yeah, and that's why you always felt like shit too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I did not realize that because I was counting my macros and watching all that stuff, and I was also doing trying to do keto. I was like doing dirty keto at the time, but I was tracking everything and I wasn't including my workouts into that because it
Right.
subtracts.
And I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like November when you first started coming in. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it was never like intentionally being like, I'm gonna skip breakfast, I'm gonna skip dinner and just eat a protein bar and that's gonna be my dinner. Like, no, it was like, fuck, dude, like trying to stay within like ketosis / like keep in my deficit, but then I wasn't fucking including my workouts into my intake. And so I was like, that's when I did, I was like, oh shit, dude, I'm only fucking consuming like 600 calories a day.
Yeah, and she told me that. I was like,
I was like, oops. I'm just the girl. Oopsies.
her famous line. It's my favorite.
I mean, now it's fine. Cause like, I mean, now I'm like, honestly though, like I really don't even like, it's not that I count my calories. I just know like from doing keto so many times, like I know around average about how many like my meals, I know around how many calories each like thing is because I've done it for so long. So I can tell when I'm like when I've been eating over my calorie maintenance. But
I sent her a voice note like last night and the night before. I was like, the way I would just face fuck a pizza right now. Oh my god.
it's kind of funny. It was funny. It's funny as fuck. That bread though, that
Surprisingly filling.
that
I'm
keto
actually
seed bread. I was
I'm
like,
actually
I got that at
really
Costco.
surprised.
Look, see, look. At the very end of the bar, you guys, you see the little pieces.
The corner.
The one little corner.
The corner. It's being treated like the redheaded stepchild. Go to the corner.
Just the blueberry one of this is so good.
So good.
This
Oh
one's
my God.
okay. I just was expecting for, like I said, peanut butter Candy Crunch. I wanted more Candy Crunch pieces.
Disappointed.
I mean, that's why it was on sale. It's fine. I'll consume it.
But yeah, well, I'll jump into this story yet again. So, but I also kind of have like now more of a linear thought process with this.
Sure.
But since this is take two, but yeah, so a lot of the stuff you guys have already kind of seen or heard. Yeah, keep me up to date on that thing too.
Yeah, I will get you.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, there's more chismos as of course there always is.
It's the Lord is always luring.
Yeah, the
you
lore
guys.
is always luring, so it's developing right now during this episode. But pretty much you guys have already heard a lot of how my alcoholism started again at a very young age at 15, 16. Again in Chicago, you know, Rise Against, Fall Out Boy, they were still playing house shows. So, and again, too, like I had mentioned, I wouldn't have been going or invited to a lot of these house parties or shows in high school if I didn't have the capacity of providing alcohol to my quote unquote friends, because clearly that's not what a friend is. But it was always, oh, hey, make sure you invite Mike because Mike will get us alcohol. And because it always happened because my sisters were of age. So if they were going out there, they would be like, hey, Mike, we're going to go do this, but we're not coming back to the house. Do you need anything? So yes, in turn, they would come back with cases or whatever, and I would be going to these shows. One of the questions Lani had asked me was, did I recognize the turning point of when alcohol started to become, you know, hee hee ha ha party time to like, when did I actually start using it as, you know, as a, what, like crunch?
When did it turn nefarious? Like when did
Yeah,
alcohol go
as a
from
crutch.
like, oh yeah,
a
I'm just hanging
crunch.
out with the guys and we're just like being teenagers and drinking, and then when it started like becoming a problem for your life and every day.
Right. So that answer it's military at that point. But post deployment after my first one. Because, you know, there was a lot of factors in this. Because again, touching on what wasn't recorded. So how my dad pretty much had raised me with 3 older sisters was again, I know I've touched on my dad's age, but he was born in the 40s. So obviously where kids were to be seen, not heard, men are to be men. Men are not going to show weakness, show emotion. And that was heavily weighed on me growing up because, again, my dad was, well, you're a man, you're going to provide as like a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old. But that's just how he was raised. So, like, again, a lot of it was I watched my sisters get a lot of the things that they had always asked for or even simply wanted. So I had watched my dad go out of his way to get them cars or have their education paid for. But one of the biggest factors of me joining the military was because I was homeless. So I was expected to pay rent. I was expected to pay for my own education. I was expected to save up for a car. I, you know, was working 2 jobs, but clearly, you know, when you have to pay rent, you know, one of your checks is going to go to rent. Basically, I was forced to be an adult at that point. And, but the issue with that is like, cool, it's great. But the other issue is that it was an expectation to already be that. So I was expected to be responsible. It wasn't properly taught. Rules were forced and placed on me, but there was no teaching of how to get to that level of responsibility. So obviously as a young man joining the military at 20, because I didn't do it out of high school, there was like a good 2-year gap. Because again, I was trying to go to school, but if I had to go to school, I had to pay for it. So that means I had to pick up a job. And then too, like I was expected to pay rent. So what got me homeless was I couldn't afford any of that. I couldn't afford rent. I couldn't go to school. And therefore, if I didn't have a car, I couldn't make it to work. So for a while, I was, ass out, all 3 of those. And my dad, got tired of it. And, he kicked me out of the house. Hence me joining the military. So obviously, at that young age, being out on your own, having access to things I never had access to, even though I had access to alcohol. But, you're now around a bunch of 20-year-old vet bros, like, out there partying and drinking. It's all, it's different. It's very much different. And the world comes at you fast when you're not expecting that.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything's all fun and jokes until you get deployed. So that was my first deployment. Like I had mentioned too, I lost a lot of friends. I went from being an MI analyst, which again, the comment is like, well, how do you even get PTSD from being a military intelligence analyst? So
you can get PTSD from anything. So stop. Don't people come for me all the time for that too? You have PTSD. You were never in the military. You have PTSD. Or. Yeah, but my PTSD is worse than your PTSD because I saw people die
always
overseas.
A pissing
And it's
contest,
just
yeah.
like, bro.
It's a pissing contest, yeah. Yeah, because I was even seeing a glimpse of it from like regulars that were veterans in the gym. It's like, oh, how did you get 100% for being an MI analyst? I'm like, suck it. I'm not gonna justify my story to you.
Yeah, it's the whole pissing contest of, oh well, you didn't see real combat. You didn't did it.
Right. But where we
It's
were at
gross.
in Afghanistan, we lost a lot of people, so they took me from the TOC, my little safe little desk jockey job, to all of a sudden I'm a gunner, I'm a dismount, I'm fucking kicking in doors, I'm fucking going on patrols, I'm seeing shit that even, the saying is true, like nothing could ever prepare you for war, but like as a 20-year-old who was already like, I have a desk job, like nothing can prepare you for that. So I obviously came back. And at that time, the culture of like seeking help was just starting to be implemented. It's now 2026, where even now, a whole 15 years later, it's finally becoming still accepted. But, with my old school, sergeant first classes, first sergeants, commanders, it's, rub dirt on it, you'll be all right. So I came back, fucking around with everybody else that I made it back home with. We just started drinking. And again, if you know anything about the military at all, you were drinking about something, the formal settings, military balls, there was alcohol involved in all of that. That's what the grog is. It's literally 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bottles being poured into one giant punch bowl, and everyone's expected to go up, grab a fucking, just dip their cup in it and drink it right there on the spot. So, but that all started, going down, and again too, experiencing loss in that capacity, it's hard. And if you're not, especially, if you're not used to it, you're going to easily just revert back to what you know. And just like before I left, alcohol was it. Just go to the shop at, spend $10, do a 2 for $4 special on a 40 ounce of Mickey's, and just fucking just head back. So then comes JBLM, and that's where I had met my ex-girlfriend at that point. We started dating, doing all that, and then I had deployed again. But in this capacity, the second deployment, I knew I wasn't going outside the wire. The rules, the SOFA agreements, everything had changed. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to be working with counterintelligence analysts, still the same MI branch, just a different job. And so sure, yeah, I did a lot of reporting. I did a lot of white papers. But November 11th, Veterans Day, there was a suicide bomber that had detonated right outside my barracks. He was a local national, wasn't supposed to be out without an escort by himself, but that's what he was doing. And he was trying to make it to the start point of this fun run, where it was literally the entire post of Bagram. That's where my second deployment was at. And I was on FaceTime at that point with my ex, and we heard this guy detonated himself like 150, 200 feet away. She obviously heard it over FaceTime, and we both looked at each other, and she's like, "You're going to have to go, huh?" I was like, "Yep." So I immediately got up, rushed outside. I met my platoon sergeant. I met one of my captains, but a whole myriad of other officers and E5s at that point. And yeah, so we started picking up pieces of body parts. Like, this is the second time that I've had to deal with like seeing innards. It brought me right back to my first deployment. Pretty much stayed on autopilot that whole entire day. Like, it was a solid 12 to 13-hour days of just picking up minuscule piece of ears, finger, all of that. And I was working with the FBI agent, CIA, and the Acme, that just the company that was collecting the human remnants. And my E7 at that point, came around and he looked at me. He's like, "Bro, you look like shit." I'm like, "Eh." And he was like, "All right, like, dude, just go. Been here all day. Just go to sleep." And when I tell you I knocked out, I fell asleep for 2 days. It was 2 fucking full days. Like, it was getting to the point where people were coming in and checking on me. I wouldn't wake up. I was just in a coma. And so finally, I had somebody, one of my Joes, can't come in my room, like, shook me enough to where I woke up. And he's like, "Yeah, we were all worried, but we just let you be. There were medics coming in and checking on you, checking your pulse." I was like, "No shit." He's like, "Yeah, dude." So, I cracked open my laptop, and yeah, I Facebook, and 350, messages on my Facebook. There was comments all over my walls, like, "We can't hear from you," because obviously, too, anything like that happens, it's comms blackout. They shut off the internet for the entire post until they can alert whoever needs to be alerted. If next of kin are involved, all of that. There's like a 72-hour period, anyways, where at least if something like that happens, they shut off the internet. But yeah, my mom. I finally called my mom, and she was like, "Oh my god, nobody's heard from you," and it was all over the news. I know CNN. They had saw one of the reportings on CNN, and but yeah, even just walking outside, there's still blood all over the streets. The fucking buildings were still stained, and I'm like, "Oh my god." So, that all had happened, and I pretty much worked for like 7 days straight on this reporting. One of the cool things is, like, one of my link diagrams got sent up to President Obama. He saw it at his cabinet meetings, at his Tuesday intelligence reports. He saw it, so I got awarded for that. So, I mean, that was pretty fucking cool. But that week straight, I'm pretty sure I only had about 12 non-consecutive hours of sleep because it was around the clock. Like, we got to work on this shit. But long story short, we fast forward to the end of the deployment, me walking home, and Lani had made comments about her ex. He came back home from Bagram, and he completely changed, and I had too. And like, I saw my ex, I saw her kids, and it was like we hugged, but it wasn't like, I didn't cry, I didn't show any emotion. It was just like, "Oh, hey, good to see you." It was kind of more like I put my arm around her shoulder, and it was just like we embraced. But again too, and that's when everything started to change again. I went back to what I knew, like my first deployment. I just went and picked up bottles, and at that point too, like, you have welcome home barbecues, you have welcome home parties. So, like, I was masking a lot of my drinking with, like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna go celebrate with so and so's family," and she started to hop on board with that. And so then I got orders to Korea. And that's where, like, my marriage first started falling apart. because everything that you hear again to army military related on that is pretty much 100% accurate. You know, fucking, it's one massive party outside, and and
So I was just looking at the article for that bombing. It was, I guess, so 5 died and then
yep,
17 were injured.
yep,
That's fucking. That's
yeah. When I tell you
pretty
I
big.
spent all day picking up body parts, I don't know who they even belong to.
That's wild.
Yep, yep, and that happened right outside my fucking barracks.
It's crazy.
Yep, and yeah, because the two people that stopped that guy were American. One instantly died, and the other one later had died from his wounds getting escorted, or he was already in Germany and he didn't make it due to the severity. But yeah, so you know, I go to Korea and again too, you know, me being away, you know, I drank a lot more, and of course, you know, spouses hear what goes on in Korea, and I had mentioned earlier too, like, you know, like my ex was starting to call out a lot of my drinking behavior again. Um, but you know, when I came down on orders, it was either like she didn't want to like have me deal with it, like you know, me denying it or whatever. Because I mean, you know, there were arguments that were brought up. Obviously, when you call somebody out for their drinking or poor behavior, they're going to get instantly defensive because they don't want to take accountability of it, and that's what was pretty much going on with me during that point. But she knew that I was leaving, so when she would have a problem with it, she would like either not say anything about it or just like push it aside. But knowing that I was going to Korea, that's where, you know, that's where a lot of it came out, because it was starting to get to the point where we were, you know, like arguing about everything, or even the days where I wouldn't go out with anybody, I would wait for her to get up, but it was still a problem. Like, well, you're going to be here for me now, but next weekend, like, I'm not going to hear from you until Monday until you have to go to work. Like, and it was just like a repeating pattern. Um, and so too, like, that clearly didn't help anything that I had going on with my, you know, with my drinking either. And the first time that we had recorded this, you know, like I was, you know, I've made jokes about, you know, the cumulative hangover coming home, but it was trying to leave country to board the plane to come back here. Yeah, that cumulative hangover was fucking awful. It was fucking awful. I passed out on the plane because I my it was just bad. But then also this
That's
leads.
from Korea, right?
Yeah, it's from Korea. I'm ready to get. So this next part, you
I
know,
guess you flew commercial, not fucking C-17.
God, I would have fucking yarfed everywhere, just back and forth, just like fucking like,
Those planes.
dude, yeah, man, it was fucking bad.
I've never flown in one, but I've been inside like a carrier like that before, and I've seen how like they've well, you can look it up on like socials and stuff like that to see how they travel, because when you're leaving like some of the bases overseas, like especially if you get like flown in a Bagram, you have to fly in
And
on a C.
the C4s, yes, and the fucking they don't. Nobody ever tells you about the combat lands.
Oh God.
Yeah, so coming into Bagram, we had the combat land, meaning like it's not like a regular
No,
commercial.
you hit the fucking ground like.
Well, so like the entry, like when you're landing, you fall out of the sky.
Yeah, it's
so
like
they so
it's like
nobody
landing in
can shoot you.
LaGuardia.
Yeah, so nobody can shoot your plane, and that's
Yes.
real. So like you drop 200 feet,
Yes.
drop another 200 feet, and so yeah, so that's it was
Your
fun.
ass is in your stomach.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
And you like thinking like, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, those lands were crazy. But so I came home from Korea, and obviously I had that hard talk with, you know, my ex at that point, and she straight up asked me, like, the very first thing was like, "Did you cheat on me?" And no, I didn't. And I told her, I was like, I was too worried about partying and going out and getting fucked up, and I was drunk pretty much the whole time. And not to condone negative behavior like that, but she was super relieved. She was like, I would much rather you have been just drunk and partying with people than doing all of that nonsense. Until it was my turn to go home on leave from Korea, so she didn't come with me. And that's where I cheated at home. I know we've touched on that in previous episodes, but pretty much, yeah. So I had met Cheryl, my best friend Cheryl. She had invited some woman that she had known for a long time too, and saying that I was home, this, that, and the third. We got to talking, so she went up and got, went to the bathroom, and I did one of the whole fucking put the ring in my shoe and waited until Cheryl's back was to me at that point too. And
because if Cheryl was seeing that, there ain't no way in hell she would have condoned. She would have been like, "My God!"
I'll tell you. We didn't talk about the fallout, but
you and Cheryl?
Yeah.
Oh,
she found out.
Oh,
I told her.
Oh,
but yeah. So I took her back to the hotel room, and yeah, I cheated, and one of the last conversations that I had with, my ex before we finally got divorced is like, yeah, that night that, you went home while you went to your friend's bar, like she had known that something was just not right. And then during the hours of me saying, oh, hey, I'm going back to the hotel, like her heart was just super heavy. Like she knew. And I've always said too, like I've mentioned on previous episodes, like that night that I was going out, whether it was going to be at Cheryl's bar or somewhere else, I had the intention of going out and cheating. And that's the thing about cheating is like you can't stop somebody from doing that because they're going to do it whether or not. Yeah. If they're set on doing it, they're going to do it.
Yep.
And again, too, with that, with drinking, I'm not ever going to justify my behavior because I'm never going to be the one to say, well, I was drunk or the alcohol was involved. Alcohol just exacerbates the situation. Like you had mentioned the first time we had recording this, it just speeds up the process. It just sped up the process because she obviously liked what I was saying. I was obviously liked with what she was saying, especially with the ideation of me going out and having that ideation anyways. Like I was going to with this woman or with somebody else, but it just had happened to be her because she was there.
The opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity. Yep, exactly.
The opportunity arose and the booze was flowing.
Yes.
It was the perfect storm.
Yep. Unfortunately, it was. And so the fallout. So, like I had said, homegirl, like, again, I was trying to be, like super sly about it after the fact. I was obviously not going to tell her. But the woman that I had cheated with, she went on my Instagram. And my Instagram at that point was just very not what it is now. But she had to, do some scrolling to find a picture of me, my ex, and then her two boys out clam fishing when I was stationed in Washington. And she found it, and she was like, who the fuck is this? So clearly I spun up some fucking story. And I thought it was over because she didn't question it, whatever. But just like a woman's intuition, when they fucking ask you a question, they already fucking know the answer to it.
Yep. I mean, I'm also at the point, too, where I don't even ask questions. I just fucking be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You have a day.
Yes, yeah. And she's shown me fucking texts where she has actually said that. Yep, she's shown me stuff.
I don't call it ghosting because I'm not like technically ghosting them. I'm just like, sir, I wish you well. I wish you would do good, sir. I said good day.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
I'm not gonna waste my energy.
But my ex, because at that point too, like
my nervous system's never wrong.
And with that too, like, again, I'm not justifying the behavior on my drinking at all. But at that point too, if you were to ask me a question, like I would have like a pathological liar trait. Even if it didn't fucking sound anywhere remotely like the truth, I would say whatever I had to say to get myself out of a situation. But because she had asked me two very direct questions that even then I was self-aware enough to be like, oh fuck, she knew. One of them was like, one was who is this? And she was there at your friend's bar. Like, just point blank.
Yeah, those two statements alone, well, I would have been like, yeah, you know everything, don't you?
Yes. Yep. So, she told me that, she sent a hey girly text to my ex, and that's pretty much how she had
She
found
spilled
out.
the beans.
Yeah, because
They
that
chit
was
chatted.
yep. Mm-hmm.
They conversed.
Yep.
They cross receipts.
Yep.
You were fucked.
Yep. Oh yeah. And so, but even then too, like I've always been somebody with I'll if I fuck up, I'll tell you. At that point, it took a little bit of digging clearly because she had to ask those two direct questions during the conversation, which. But I've always been I'll always
I think some women just need to hear it out loud to believe it. You know
yeah
what I mean?
yeah
Like the whole like they want to hear you admit what you did.
yeah
For accountability. They want to hold you to that.
yep yeah, and they just for their own validation or whatever it is they need for themselves, because clearly
Yeah.
that was never about me. She needed that from me, but that whole conversation was around October 2017. So we did the whole like couples therapy thing. Oh, the fallout before I get to that. Yeah. So I openly admitted to Cheryl like what I did. Oh, she didn't talk to me until I got here. So like she went a while. Like she went a while without talking to me. And she obviously gave me the, I'm disappointed, like I thought you were better than that. Like this is not the person that I thought you were. This, that, and the third, but it turns out you're just like every other dude out there, and I know that because I serve these kind of people every night when I see them at the bar. Like I thought you were better than that. And so, she said the same thing that you did. She's like, all right, well, I'm going to bid you farewell because I don't want you associated with me because that's not who I keep around me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that fallout with her. And then, but me and my ex, we did spend, pretty much that fall into winter going to couples therapy and doing all this stuff. And in March, when I came down on orders, March of 2018, when I came down on orders on here, we decided to get married. So we got married up there, Puget Sound. And like I had said the first time recording this, I knew that this wasn't going to work because
Did you guys? Because I know at one point you said that you guys were trying for a baby too.
that was at the end.
So were you already in marriage counseling, like actively trying for a baby,
At the end, yes, that is what I forgot to tell.
and your therapist wasn't like, maybe that's not a good idea, or did she not know?
I don't remember. I don't think we told anybody about that either.
Okay, so even like the therapist didn't know you guys were
No. So if anybody remembers that whole streaming thing, she hated me streaming, didn't want me doing it. That happened when I was trying to move out here. But then when we did get out here, that's when the whole dynamic changed. And I know too, like, and I'm not trying to throw out excuses, but everybody says, "Oh, my ex was violent, my ex was abusive," but she really was abusive. Like, so I did the early reporting option to where I was reported to post, but not in my unit yet because I reported to post early. So while I wasn't going to work yet, I was still reported at least on post to let everybody know. I was like, oh, hey, your new guy is here. But I still wasn't going to work yet. So we decided to explore Fort Carson a little bit. And on this day, it was like July, and it's fucking hot here. She's not used to the dry heat because it was like 95 degrees. Her little one, her youngest, throwing a fit the whole time we were in the PX because we just wanted to go in there too to cool off, but also like look at the PX. But he was throwing a fit. He's being a 3-year-old in heat that's not used to being dehydrated, that's not used to, being in this kind of heat. We knew that, so we stopped at the food court, got him a slushie. He was still super fussy. He was not just cooperating with us. In turn, made us super, aggressive towards each other and, arguing and like yelling at each other in the PX. So we decided to leave. One thing led to another, though. She fucking took my car, my keys, and left me at the PX. Straight up left me. And now, again, mind you, I reported early to post, but I didn't have a chain of command. There was nobody I could call. There was no other E5. There's no friend I could even had called. So I had to walk back into the PX, and I had to talk to the food court manager. I'm like, I know you don't have to help me. I'm brand new here. Again, explain the whole thing. I don't have anybody to call. So she went out of her way to take me all the way back up to my apartment, which at that point was on Powers by that Costco there, and avoided each other all day. All day, I walked right into the living room. I sat my ass down. She stayed in our bedroom, didn't greet me, didn't do nothing. Until that night, we got into it, like to the point where like I've never hit a woman before, but we were about to like throw hands when I was like, hey, I don't feel safe. I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to get out of here. She broke my phone and she blocked me from leaving the apartment, which here is, it's false imprisonment. Then it's illegal here. So she ended up getting arrested. But that was just one incident out of 3.
Can I ask you why instead of like, so was she getting aggressive at this point where you like didn't, like, as you said, you didn't feel safe, but like, so you decided to call the cops, but like, to what degree, like that you couldn't walk out?
Because she was, like I couldn't walk out.
Was she like not, or was she preventing you to walk out?
Oh, yeah, all of
Okay.
it. Yeah, she would like shove me back from walking out. To at least, because at that point she took my phone and she like put it in the garbage disposal and turned it on and shredded my phone. Oh, and something else I had forgotten. So after like she clearly she chose to stay with me, but I made the point of getting rid of all of my socials. I deleted all my social media. I got rid of. So this is the phone that I had used. This also, all jokes aside, that's why it's called my trap phone, because this is the phone that I had used to cheat. But I had deactivated it. I went to AT&T, is like, I need a new phone. Deactivate this one. And give me a flip phone. Like, that's like, I don't want like any temptation. Like, I only want this for communication, this, that, and the third. So she had taken my little flip phone, because it's a flip phone. It's a shell.
It's like a razor.
Yep, it was the equivalent of. And so she had taken it, shoved it down the garbage disposal, flipped it on, and it shredded itself.
Damn.
And then so when I tried to leave, she kept blocking me from leaving because I was caught between our island and the front door, and the only way through at that point, because even if I would turn around, she would follow me around the island.
Yeah, it was just very similar to my situation in my DV.
God, we do live parallel lives.
I'm saying.
Yeah, but just segue too is super funny. So like the liquor store that I had walked to get my gallon, like towards the end of the story, it's like, oh, that's the liquor store that I walked a mile and a half to, and she's like, yeah, and that's a tattoo shop that I was getting a tattoo done at as you were walking to the store. I was like,
around the same time, I was getting tattooed right next to her.
I was like, what? It's like, the fuck. But yeah, so that had happened. But yeah, she got arrested. But that was the one of 3 incidences. But the second 2, she called the cops on me because I was fucking plastered. Like, I'm talking like 2 Crown Apple bottles to the face. Like, plastered. But my saving grace during both of those incidences is I was on the phone with my sister, and my sister spoke to the cops both times, and she had told the lieutenant, because she like made up like, oh, he's putting hands on me, he's putting hands on my kid, all this shit. So the lieutenant had to come out for that. Sure. But she spoke to them and like, no, he's been on the phone with me the whole time in the basement, separate fucking room. He's not anywhere near her. So, but, I had filed, by January 19th, again, she was getting married.
I got married that month, that year.
January 19th of 2019. Yep.
Yeah. Yours was what? The 19th, you said?
The 19th, yeah.
Yeah, I got married on the 11th.
Yeah, so that's super funny. Again, super funny. But
Parallel lives.
but then again, I fell right back into my old ways because it's like I'm done. I can do whatever I want. I'm single. I can drink in the way I can want to drink. Nothing's stopping me. But again, like everybody that says that, or I'm gonna say the majority of the men that I've encountered that have said similar subjects or similar things like that, I didn't fucking want to do whatever I wanted to do. Like I was coming home from a full house with kids, with a wife, like dinner being like yeah, we had our rocky moments, but like we were doing shit like full house. Full house. Now I'm walking into an empty ass barracks room. Like I don't fucking want that. Like why would anybody want to take that step down? But I mean, at that point, I had people that were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna let you sit in your barracks room. Let's go fucking drink. Let's go fucking party." Like the first night of me being in my barracks room, I went out to Cowboys and Mansions and got fucking plastered. And so now at that point, it was game on. And then shortly after that separation, or after my divorce, I had met Alyssa, my former best friend, because I had staff duty one night. My first sergeant, again, didn't want me to fester in my room, so he put me on duty. I'm like, thanks, dude. But, like, I had to go pretty much put her in a barracks room because she had a domestic violence situation because she was drinking. And that's how we met. That's how we bonded. And the capacity of which me and Alyssa were is almost identical to the same capacity that me and Lani are. We did everything together. We went to work. We went to PT. Saw each other all day. We would go to each other's offices. We'd fuck around with each other. Like we were the same exact capacity. Like she would stream with me. We would play Rock Band together. It was almost identical to the T. So now my Army career is ending. And as a lot of you guys know, my first job out of the Army was a tower climber. And again, that exacerbated a lot of my drinking because it's blue collar. So obviously our lunch period, we would go fucking drink. We get plastered during lunch. We would also have the nose beers. So, I'm doing cocaine, I'm drinking on the job. Like I'm hanging upside down at the light ring at Empower Field. Like
I would have fucking yacked.
I'm doing all this shit at the Pepsi Center. Like I'm doing all this cool shit. Like I did work up in the stage at at Red Rocks. Like I did the internet up there. Like I did all this shit. Just coke the fuck out and beard the fuck up. Drive all the way the fuck back down here to Colorado Springs and drink with Alyssa, doing all of this shit. And that's when the true alcoholism started to come out. And because at that point too, I was realizing this isn't for fucking fun anymore. I'm staying coked out of my mind. I'm staying drunk all day. I'm now gonna go back, hang out with my best friend, and go drink more. And so I was starting to lose control of my emotions, and like to the point where like we would have fights and all of this other shit. And it wasn't all her. Like, this was me being coked out of my fucking head and being drunk out of my mind all fucking day that I was losing control of my emotions. But the other side of that is when I would tell her, hey, I think I have a problem, because I told her that at least 3 times. And it was always, no, we're just having a bad day. You're okay. And the other one, too, that I told Lani this, too, that I remembered was, well, do you think you're an alcoholic? Do you think you have a problem? So she turned it back around on me to make me be like, to force myself to be like, oh, yeah, no. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know why. I don't know why she would ask you that if you're sitting there saying, I think I might have a problem. And they'd be like, well, do you think you have a problem? That's what I just said. That's literally what I just said. So like, girl, what?
Right. Yep. But in that moment, I wasn't.
I guess to me, the appropriate response would have been like, okay, Like, how can I support you? What do you need from me? What do we need to do?
Right. And in that moment, I wasn't thinking like that. And I think too at that point she didn't want to lose somebody that was going to go out and drink with her too.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm trying to get to is like I think it was more of like she really rode that line of, well, I want to do what I want to do for my sake because I'm not ready to stop drinking and partying, but I still need to be a good person. So let me write on this fucking gray line
Right.
of like, well, do you think you have a problem? Even though you just said you did, but do you? But do you?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Sorry, I'm questioning my life decisions that are going to inconvenience you. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
But again, yeah, I just wasn't thinking like that. But then, towards the end of that job, because we were a subcontracting company, so AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon during that summer were all hemorrhaging money. Like they were all just losing money in any capacity. So in turn, they weren't sending out materials for new jobs, or they weren't sending out just jobs for maintenance on their current projects to begin with. So I ended up getting let go because there was just no work for me. And so I ended up getting a severance package.
Sovereigns.
Sovereign. Yeah, I was about way too hard. But they ended up giving me a severance package because, I had worked there for a year and a half. And I was at that point, too, I was in a position to get promoted to foreman. So as an apprentice foreman in that job, you still qualified for a severance package. So they paid me out for the next 3 months. And so, again, everything happens in October in my timeline. So a couple weeks later was Halloween.
Mine.
Weird. Just weird, right? Just,
I hate this is why I don't like fall in October.
Because and March are heavy for me.
Every single time some bullshit's gonna happen in my life, it's always October or March.
Yep.
It's always like right before my birthday and then right before the holiday.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about the month of October.
Something.
It's just always like I just like I don't want to say hold my breath, but I'm just always like I like mentally prepare for the shitstorm that is the month of October every year.
Every year. Yep. So that was October, and then 2 weeks later is when I got my DUI. I was clearly feeling all down and boohooed about myself, and so I went out to a concert here at the Black Sheep and spent almost $200. I'm pretty sure it was like 175 upwards on myself. So clearly I was toasty. Like I was feeling fucking good. So I got my car. The show was over. It's getting off Platte onto South Academy, and it's just a fucking typical, exit. Nothing crazy. But I took the turn too sharp.
You going left or right?
Right.
Oh, so you hit that
because I was on Murray, because I lived on Murray, so I had to turn right off of Platte.
Yeah.
So right there by the Perkins, Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of just like, I literally tried to turn right into the curb, and my axle fucking whole fucking thing. So again, I told on myself essentially. So when I called Geico for a tow, they send cops. So the cops got called, and this officer walks right up to my window, and he just casually asks, like, "Hey, have you been drinking?" And I offer it. Yep. He was like, "What? Are you for real?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking hammered." He's like, "What?" So he had me shut the car off. Obviously, he did a field sobriety test on me, not because I admitted to being drunk. His words were, "I want to see if you're actually drunk." Like in my 22, 25 years of being a cop, nobody has ever outwardly just said yes to that question. So
he was like, he was stunned. He was like, "Where's Ashton Kutcher?
Like, am I being punked? What is this?" But yeah, so like I failed the whole. I failed. I fucking failed because one of the first things they do, they have
He's
you.
like, "Yep, you're drunk. Go have a seat over there."
Yep, because the reason they have you look left and right because your eyes will
Yeah,
shake,
they shake.
and so off like fucking my eyes. He's like, I'm not even gonna finish. Okay, he's telling
He's like,
the truth.
"No more.
He's like, yep,
No
you're
more.
okay. All
We're
right.
good here."
So yeah, but like I was being like super chill and so non-combative. I didn't put me in cuffs. Obviously, put me in the back seat. Didn't put me in cuffs. They did the whole blood alcohol thing at the station down there off of South Academy by the Taco Bell. But they drove me home. I was like, I granted, I'm literally right around the corner on Murray, but they didn't put me in jail. They didn't cuff me. They were like, dude, you were so chill that like you're good, bro. I was like, sweet. But yeah, so after that, then, I fucking didn't have a car. I lost my fucking license. Of course, Alyssa was nowhere to be found. Like, she didn't help me at all. But now this comes into that sales job. Like, we're now leading up to the part where I was posting about last week being in the hospital. So I took a sales job selling windows, and there was a business meeting up there, up in Denver. So that first night we got up there, at night when I tried to go to bed, my stomach was just it was just I don't even know how to describe it, but like sharp pains in my stomach. I couldn't go to sleep. Like I eventually did, but
Wait, she took you up there. She just dropped you off, or was she hanging out for the meeting?
no, so that the people that I was working with, we all went up there like carpooled.
Okay.
Like again, she's nowhere to be found during any of this. Like I was doing all of this by myself. Like so I took this job by myself. All of this shit like was done. Like I would text her occasionally and I told her what happened with my DUI story, but like it was like
So what was like? So then, how did you guys start separating ways? Where she's just like,
after the DUI.
so she's after you got a DUI, she started kind of like pulling
Because
back.
I
and
called her because like, well, do you have anybody to call just in case we have to put you in jail? You get your one phone call. I called her 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Nothing. Because I had texted her, I was like, hey, I just got in a car wreck, but I'm drunk and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get DUI. Red. That was it. Only thing that popped up was just red at like 2:23 in the morning, 2:30. Yeah. So she read it, nothing. So I called her, nothing. Told her about what happened, everything the next day, left undelivered. So I'm pretty sure she turned off her read receipts. So I'm telling her all of this stuff that's happening. Hey, I picked up a job. She was like, oh, good. I'm glad for you. Love that. But it was very dry and very breadcrumby. Like, oh, hey, well, we need to go out and celebrate your new job. Or, hey, we need to do this. Or, hey. But there was no action on it.
do you see right now that I am trying not to get the piss the fuck off?
I know. But at the same time, though, like,
Mike, that's not even bare minimum good friendship. That's not even bare minimum good friend.
I know.
That's straight up, I don't give a fuck about you as a person. I'm here to serve my fucking self.
And I didn't mention this either during that first recording. She actually came over to stream with me on Christmas. Like we did a whole Christmas stream like all fucking day because her kids were with her ex.
Yeah, I'm sure she did because it benefits herself.
Yes, because she was by herself. Yep.
It benefits her. Everything that was about your guys' friendship wasn't about you guys trauma bonding. It was about the fact that Alyssa only wanted it if it served her.
Oh yeah.
There was no reciprocity. Zero. None.
Yeah, especially towards the end. Yeah, especially toward the end.
I'm gonna stop talking because I'm pissed.
I know. But that business meeting happened. That first night, agonizing pain, whatever. I've ended up falling asleep only because I was so dead ass tired. I fell asleep. Like I fell asleep through the pain. Woke up, the pain was still there, but like I had a glass of water. I told like the team leader or like the business leading meter, like, hey, business leader. But I told him like, hey, I had this really weird like stomach pain last night. Like it was agonizing. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's still kind of bothering me. He's like, all right, well, before we go anywhere, like chill out, you know, have some water, do whatever. I had a glass of water and it was fine. My stomach was fine. I was like, cool. So like business like the went to work, walked around, did all this shit completely fine. And then we went to dinner, we went to Outback. I got myself a steak. I had one bite of steak, not even 2, 3. It wasn't 5 minutes later. It was less than that. I doubled over in pain so hard that I almost smashed my forehead into the table. Like that's how hard I folded over. Everyone's freaking out and like, oh my God, Mike. So he took me to the, emergency care. And just like how I was posting that story all last week, because it happened 2024, like last week, I had 3 gallstones. Like 2 were in my gallbladder, and the one was trapped in my pancreas gallbladder, like opening duct. That like I started getting pancreatitis, and if you go so long, it can it can kill you. So I was like, oh, cool. So not only am I in the hospital, I guess I'm just gonna die here. So like lifed those last 2 days. When the surgery gets scheduled, as like not even before, yeah, it was not even an hour before they take me back for surgery prep. Alyssa sends me a message because clearly I'm texting her all of this shit that's happening to me. Again, bare minimum responses like, well, I hope you feel better was one of the texts. Was like, oh, hey, I hope you feel better. Like, oh, okay. But yes, but like an hour before they take me to surgery prep, she sends me this fucking text that was like, hey, can't do this friendship anymore. Like this friendship was based on trauma bonding. There was no real substance behind this. You're going through all of this stuff now. I can't help you. Now she's realizing like, oh hey, you're drinking all of this other shit she wants to bring up in this text. But I obviously can't respond because I'm fucking doped up on morphine and shit.
What she should have said was, oh, Mike, you're going through shit and that requires me to show the fuck up and be a decent human being and decent fucking friend. So I can't do that because that's not who I am and that's not what I signed up for because that requires real fucking effort. So I'm going to beat the fuck out of here because, it doesn't serve me anymore. Have a great one. That's what she should have fucking said because that would have been more honest than the bullshit she gave you. I'm sorry. Okay, I digress. I don't.
But yeah, I mean, but like I had mentioned in that first recording too, like she left. Bad Wolf Rose came right in, like she came right in, and we played Nintendo Switch, and she came and spent time with me. Like not even an hour after the surgery was done. So the universe, like I think that was just like a foretelling of how universe brought me you too. Like retrospectively, like I didn't have anybody, but then you came to the gym. Like I didn't have anybody, but Bad Wolf Rose was waiting for me to like spend time with me. But so the fallout from the surgery until April 14th is when I fully was consumed by my drinking because now I had drugs. Now I was fully drinking on drugs. Like I had oxycodone, I had my Percocets. Like the money that I did make while on this business trip, I was door dashing beer. I was door dashing and I was buying in bulk at that time too because I was like, well, I'm fucking laid up. I don't know when I can get alcohol again. So I was buying like two to three, like 30 racks, buying bottles, buy them on a Friday, Thursday, Friday. They'd be gone by Monday, Tuesday. Like at that point, I was binge drinking. And like I had said too with the Russian roulette thing, again, paying bills. And then I would at least, that's when I set up this current Cash App actually. So talk about fucking trauma every time I use Cash App. But I would move the money instead of going to an ATM. I would move the money to the Cash App so I could still use DoorDash. And April 1st rolled around. Didn't pay rent because now at that point my money was running dry and I didn't have the money to pay rent out of the room that I was renting. It was like a week later is when I got served with the eviction notice. And I was able to up and walk around, but clearly like was not doing myself any favors with not even rehabilitating myself properly anyways. So the night of April 13th.
Was this 2024?
Mm-hmm. Why?
That was the month that my ex like told me why the fuck would I say and moved the fuck out. April of 2024.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I'm dead ass. It's my eviction notice for my marriage.
Oh my
It was my marital eviction notice of I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Oh my god. Yeah, because that was April 13th. What were you doing on April 13th of that year?
I don't. Was that? I think it was a Friday 13th. I don't remember.
No, yeah, it was a Friday. Because that following Monday is when I went to detox. So yeah, it was a Friday.
Yeah, because I think it was a Friday after Easter, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember. Probably fighting. I think this is when we were fighting all the time.
Okay. Yeah. So on that day is when I walked that 1.5 miles to that liquor store, and
I don't know because before he left, he didn't talk to me for like a whole like week and a half because we had gotten into an argument and he like didn't want to talk to me. They ignored me for like a week and a half.
damn.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
That's
it's
wild.
fucking crazy.
My eviction notice just looks different than yours.
Much different.
Anyways.
But yeah, so I walked that 1.5 miles to that liquor store.
It's like our big life events happen in the same month of the same like coinciding years. It's just that's what's wild to me.
Yeah, it really
like,
is.
What?
But
what happened to you last Mother's Day? Didn't anything happen to you in May of last year?
Yeah, it's when I got in that abusive relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, that was May.
Okay.
Yep.
You already know where I'm going with that, right? Brother.
Brother.
That's what I'm gonna start doing now. I'm like, this happened. Where were you at this time and day?
Pulling up on my Google Photos.
I know. Shit.
No, I photo document everything.
I know, me too. Unfortunately, not looking forward to that. But anyways, back to you.
Yep.
Okay, so April.
But yeah, so I walked that 1.5 miles to the liquor store. Got my fucking gallon of Tito's. Walked right back, and like I had mentioned on earlier episodes, or maybe I haven't, or maybe it was on stream, but I tried to kill myself on stream. I tried to do it on Kick. And the handful of people that are still rocking with me, clearly Bad Wolf Rose, there's Eagles, Y2 Kate, Ayo Fuzz, Lauren Shea, possibly Sith, and it was possibly Sith's mom. I love her to death. Call her Mama Sith. Yeah, they were all watching, and I was clearly drinking in a capacity of not wanting to be here anymore. And so towards the end, I started to black out more, and I'm like, I guess I had said something. I don't remember. I have to ask Kate or Sith what I had said, but I had taken the rest of the bottle of my oxycodone, and I think that was like a good 12 to 15 pills, I think. 15 or 20 upwards. 12 to 20. I don't remember. But yeah, the next thing I know, I'm fucking waking up in the ER and tube shoved down my throat and throwing up everywhere and passed out or blacked out again. And it wasn't until like 4 or 5 in the morning, nurse came back in, and I still blew a 0.27, 0.25, 0.26, one of the two. Still fucked up, but just cognizant enough to hold a conversation. And, the nurse was like, do you need help? And I think for my sake. She was hoping I said yes, in which I did. So she started, crying a little bit, and and that's my other best friend, Lorena, was texting her. Yeah, it's my other best friend. That's Lorena. She was in my unit too in the Army, and she was a supply clerk. And I always used to go back in her supply cage. I used to just like how I used to mess around with you, and we had the same like little sister big bro dynamic. And I would either just shoot shit with her, or we'd just like make fun of each other. But she was always close to me, even when I got out. But she was the first person that I had texted and I had called, and she's been pretty much there the whole time for me too. And so I spent Cedar Springs that whole week, the 17th, that whole week. And also too, my other big concern was like not having to, like, how the fuck am I going to pay for a hospital, like 2 back-to-back hospital stays, blah, 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 blah. So that was like another reason too why I was like freaking the fuck out. Like when I got out of the hospital, I was like, how the fuck am I going to pay for this?
Yep. That was me all last summer.
Yep. Like, how the fuck am I going to pay for that?
That was
And now I'm
me
getting
all last summer.
yeah, now I'm getting evicted. Like, what the fuck? So that was like another reason. But found out that
just like
that was pretty much my mentality going into detox. I was like, well, I might as well just rack up $100,000 worth of fucking medical expenses, because I don't know how the fuck I'm going to pay for this. But long story short, the VA came in clutch. I did not have my benefits, so I don't know who pulled what string, but the VA paid for my whole entire week, and that was like $40,000. I looked at the bill. I was like, what the fuck? But during one of the group therapy sessions that they had, one of the local AA chairmans came in, told his story, ran a little mini unofficial AA group, and I was like, yes, I need this. So spoke to him a little bit after the therapy meeting, and he was like, I know I'm not supposed to give you my number, but I'll leave it up here at the front desk for you. Just get it when you fucking, get out. And sure shit, got discharged. He was the first person that I called, because I clearly had nowhere to go. So I was literally standing outside of Cedar Springs like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I called him, and he immediately took me to an AA meeting, and lo and behold, in comes Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is now a spin instructor at the gym I work at, and Lani works at now. So if you see her on Mondays, that's when she works.
Oh, I'll probably meet her this coming up.
I really hope you do, because she is the only person outside of Lani that knows my whole story. But she was my program director. She's such a wonderful human being. Oh my God, she's so great. But she, told my story. She sat right next to me being a newcomer, and she got me into a bed that night. So again, the universe just worked out the way that it had worked out. She had told me, hop in the van, we're going up to Palmer Lake. Like, I have candy. But yeah, so she got me a bed, and she got me on medicated my food. So it was godsend. But yeah, here we are now, 23 months later, completely sober, and that's not to say that this 699 days, 700 days hasn't been without challenges. Obviously, I had a really bad PTSD sleepwalk episode in February. I've had multiple moments of things that should have broken any other person, but I'm still here working on myself. Lani helps me out. She is my unpaid therapist at this point. Like, I don't know where I would be without her. But it's just been, people like Tanner and people like his girlfriend, like, they've seen me at my worst. They have driven me back and forth. They know where I've come from. They've seen me grow. And then, Lani came in, into the picture, last October, November. And, we've pretty much been inseparable ever since then. But it's just, Lani has told me multiple times, it's like, bro, you don't have a lot of good people in your life. I'm like, I don't. So, and that's why, I cling to people like Lani that just no struggle, but it's not just about that, but she grounds me in a lot of ways that like I'm clearly not at yet. So it's been without her, like I don't know where the fuck I would be, because yeah, last May I got into another abusive relationship, and you know that probably should have broken me too, but I know that was before Lani's time, but you know that's a situation where it's like I'm either gonna learn from it or fucking give up everything that I've worked for. And right now, my sobriety is the only thing that's keeping me here, because if I don't have another recovery in me. Like this is it. Like if I ever go back to that, like I'm not coming back. There's no saving me at that point. Something had gone terribly fucking wrong in my life for me to start drinking again. And that I already know I wouldn't come back from.
It's good shit. It's good testimonial. Good story. And now we go onward and upward from here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good shit happening with both of us. Like Lani's starting her actual like professional fitness career. Like,
yeah, I'm so excited.
like there's a big potential. I'm about to be a fucking homeowner, and like all of this.
I thought you were gonna say.
Like what is going on right now? Like who is letting me do this?
I mean, I just think it's just like positive energy, positive vibes, and all that shit. Like this is kind of what we were touching base on earlier today. I was like, you can only be a shit person and be shitty to people and live in that negative energy and that shitty just for so long before you have to pay the Pied Piper. You know what I mean? Like what you put out there is what you attract and what you get back. So if you're gonna fucking be a horrible, miserable person, then you're gonna get nothing but crap back. And I think that people like look at like your situation, your story, my story, and then us in general in our dynamic, and they get booty tickled over it because they like see in us individually as well as when we are together what they lack in their life. And it's like, but you could do what we do individually in our lives and what we do in our dynamic and our friendship together, you can have for yourself.
Yep.
You just gotta like go get it. Like stop making fucking excuses.
And that's like the other thing that like I think I'm learning from you too. Like you don't allow me to give myself excuses when I'm lacking or if I have shortcomings. It's like, look, this is what you need to do. You either fix it or you're not. And if you're not gonna fix it, then you're gonna be stuck in a rut. And there's been several instances where you've just told me flat out, it's like, bro, you're fucking moving weird. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I appreciate about it, because and that's something that I've you know, even when I was drinking, I was always self-aware of my flaws. I've always like, I'm gonna clearly not in that moment I didn't fucking fix it, but especially now when genuine connections matter, like I have to fucking fix it.
Yeah, I think a lot of life is like what you put into it is what you're gonna get back. You know, like attracts like, meaning that like you have to like you want a certain lifestyle, you want things for yourself, you have to go get them. And you have to have that mindset of like almost like I don't like you just manifest that shit. Like you already have it, you already own it, you already are that person. You are that bitch. You are that person.
Right.
And I think people want to sit there and it's just so much easier to be like, oh, well, I can never be that. I can never do that. I can never achieve that. That's outside of my means. That's never, I can't because X, Y, Z. And it's like, why not though?
Right. Yeah.
Like your bar and your limit for what your life could be is only as far as you set it.
Right. Yeah, and two, like it's like there are three separate occasions in my life where I should not be alive, and drinking that much vodka with that amount of pills, I should not be here. Like I don't want to like be morbid or sound like super Debbie Downer, but realistically, like I should not be here. I should be fucking dead. That should have fucking flat out killed me. Like alcohol poisoning alone, on top of the amount of pills I took. So something's keeping me here. Something, I don't know what it is, but third time's a fucking charm, I guess. So if I can't fucking die, I'm gonna fucking live correctly. Like, morbid
Fair.
joke aside, like if I can't fucking kill myself, I might as well live
I mean,
correctly.
you're preaching to the choir over here.
I know. Like,
I'm over here like, I mean, two suicide attempts when I was 16, and then once when I was 19, and then getting hit by an 18-wheeler, and then getting yeeted off a bike. Like, I'm like, look. So I always make the joke where I'm like, yo, I'm like a cat. I got 9 lives. Well, now I think I'm like down to like 6, but I just like, I don't know. Like I said, I just stopped making excuses for myself with my like, even when it comes to like, with my weight loss and all that stuff. Like I like things happen, life happens, but you don't give up on yourself. You keep getting back on it and doing it and doing it and doing it and trying and making efforts. And my whole thing is like, nobody ever, well, at least no one ever like succeed. 9 times out of 10, most people don't succeed the first time. Whether it be like, even for an example of a term, in terms of, for example,
can't talk today.
I know, because this is the second time we've done it, so my like caffeine's like,
Oh, I'm gonna walk to the fucking. I'm gonna get us more rain.
Oh, I have a Lani in the fridge.
Oh, you do. You have
Yeah.
your two. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. Grab fucking.
But like, and for an example of like when someone is learning how to like do something, like a new skill set, like trying to think something that's like more not so progressive in one way or the other. Like chefs, for example, when chefs are trying to create a new recipe or a new, like, if you're baking something, you have to like make 1,000,001 mistakes on how like to perfect a recipe, because it's never going to be good if you're making it from scratch. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be like perfect the first time you do it, but you tweak it and you change it and you keep going at it, and it's gonna, eventually you're going to get it. You're going to get the recipe to success.
Yep.
But if you were to just like, if somebody the first time they ever tried to bake bread was like, I'm going to do this and do that and do this and add this and that, and it turned it out like shit, and they were like, well, fuck it, guess that was a stupid idea, never doing that again. Like,
yeah,
you wouldn't have fucking bread today.
Right. Yep.
It's the same thing with like doctors and scientists. Like if somebody was like, oh, you know what? I have this theory, and if you do this and do that, oh, it didn't work. All right, well, I guess I'm an idiot. I'm going to give up. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Same concept. I just don't know why people don't apply that to their lives more often in themselves.
Yep.
I don't know. Envy to me is weird. Like envy and jealousy and being fucking op and all that shit. It's like, it's fucking weird. To me, it's just weird. It's weird energy.
Yeah.
Like if you take that energy and you put it into yourself, and then it's also weird energy to be like, oh, you're a pick me. Oh, you're a clout chaser and blah, 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 blah. Well, to some degree, it is weird if you're going to be a clout chaser by going to someone's funeral and someone's fucking memorial walk and somebody's like that kind of aspect, because that's weird, because you're literally trying to gain something off of somebody's loss of life. That to me is fucking weird.
Disgusting.
That's fucking weird ass energy to show up and try to clout chase off somebody's life being lost. Weird ass shit. But like, I lost my train of thought there. Oh my god. I was like, this is fucking weird. Oh, like if you're like over there though, if you're like trying to like put yourself out there in a positive way and make content and or podcast or, stream or whatever it is you want to do. Fuck, some of you guys paint and knit and have really, really cool ass hobbies, and you put yourself out there, you content create doing that kind of aspects. Like that's not, to me, I don't find that clout chasing and you're a pick me. Like you're showcasing what you like to do and how you want to be put out there to the world. And I know that, like, I know this because I have my same like 20 people that follow me on every social media platform. They follow my IG, they follow my TikTok, they follow my the Lani's Lore TikTok page and Instagram, and then they also subscribe here on YouTube. So it's like, I know that I have those people that support me and back me. So I know that those people do exist for other people. And I've had people mention to me like, your content and you and your homeboys content that you guys do together, like I love it. It's great. It like makes my day so much better when I see your guys' like content come up on my page. It like makes me laugh. It makes me like, you know, it helps me through my day. And so to me, if I can do that, even if it only even if nothing happens from this, and nothing big comes from it, which I doubt, because I'm manifesting. But like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that I can make that effect on 20 people, that I make their day better, is enough for me.
And that's the thing too. Like, let's not downplay how big 20 people. That's a classroom.
Yeah.
Like everybody makes like it's only 20 likes. Well, that's a fucking classroom worth of people.
And people think I don't notice. I notice who it is. I know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
If if you are one out of the 20 people who follow me on all my platforms and you follow my YouTube channel, like just know I see you. I see you. I see you following. I see you liking my content. I notice who the fuck you are. Like you think you're not gonna get your flowers one day? Like don't worry. Like when I fucking when this shit blows the fuck up, if it ever blows up, it will blow up. Manifestation. Like I get my people their flowers. So like the people that have been here from day one, and there are people who have been there for me from day one on my social media platform since I started when I was posting, not like before I even started posting motorcycle content, when I had just started posting shit as a way of to like an outlet when I was going through my divorce. When I first got separated, there was people that have been following me since day one. Like, yeah, I noticed. I see it. But I appreciate you guys and love you guys. But anything else you want to add to that?
No, because that kind of goes along the same lines for me, you know, just going through everything that I've gone through. Like, I know exactly who's seen it. I know exactly who was there the night that I tried to exit stage left, and they still we text sometimes too. Like, we don't text as often as we do, but at this point it's to the point is like I don't need you to give me the same props as or support that I needed a year ago, but I see you. I know who it is. I know exactly who it is. It's along the same line. So like,
I also think it's weird that the people that I know every single day that I know in real life, like, will watch my shit. You guys will watch my, watch my podcast, and you'll watch my socials and watch my story, but you guys don't like any of my stuff. Is weird.
yeah,
Doesn't give supportive.
we've divulged on that too.
It gives, I want to be nosy, but I don't want you to be successful. That's what that gives to me.
Right. Like,
Because when I see people who I like, I'm like, oh, I see you, I see what you're doing, I see the content you're creating, and I see that you're trying. Why wouldn't I like your shit?
right.
Why wouldn't I want you to be successful? But you can't show me the same energy back. Is weird to me. That's all. We'll leave that there.
Yep.
But anyways, until the next one, you guys, we will bid you adieu. Everybody be safe out there. The weather is warming up. So people, when the weather warms up, people like to drive crazy. So everyone, please be careful. But we love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.